Hello everyone, this is Arun. Welcome to part 2 of the tutorial series where we are looking at creating custom BI reports in Oracle Account Reconciliation Cloud. We're going to specifically focus on the transaction matching module. So in this video, I wanted to give you an overview of transaction matching process, the different components that are involved, and I'm going to talk about the data sources, the attributes, and also load some sample data and show you how the matching works. The first thing that should come to your mind is the match type. Each match type has data source or sources, and each data source has data source attributes or data fields or data elements. And then you have matching rules, you have adjustment types, you have support types, and you also have journal attribute mapping. So once you've set up your match type, you also have to set up the format and the profile. And then you can start loading data into the system and performing transaction matching process. So I want to take a very simple example. So we have two data sources, invoices and EDI. So when we talk about transaction matching, think of it as trying to reconcile data between two different data sources. So if I take the example of invoices and EDI, we have customer invoices. Let's say we invoiced invoices worth of $1,000 and we get a payment file with the details. Now we're going to match and make sure that whatever we invoiced, we got that much money back, right? So if we invoiced $1,000, we want to make sure that we got that $1,000 back. In transaction matching in the match type, for our example, invoices is one of the data sources and EDI is one of the data sources. All right. The matching rule is where the magic happens, right? So you're trying to match data between two different data sources and you're specifying the conditions that the transaction matching engine should look for. So in our case, what we have set up is use customer number from invoices to match with customer number in EDI, invoice number in invoices to match with invoice number in EDI, line number from invoices match with line number in EDI, and finally, invoice line amount matched with line amount in EDI. So it has to satisfy all these four conditions for it to be matched. With this understanding, let's look at a few scenarios. So the first scenario is where the data between the invoices and the payment file matches. So we have those four fields: customer number, invoice number, line number, and the invoice line amount. All those fields match. So we can see the customer number matches between the two different data sources. Same goes with invoice line number, invoice number, and the line amounts also match. So in this case, it's a confirmed match. Scenario 2 is unmatched. So we have in here, we'll see that the customer number, invoice line number, all those three data elements match, but the invoice line amount or the line amounts between the two data sources are different. So there are no matches. The last scenario, if we have time, is that we can set up match rules with tolerance. So even if the three fields like customer number, invoice number, and line number matches, and even if there's a variance between the line amounts, we could set up rules to match. So let's say if there's a variance of 5% between the line amounts, we could set up a rule to match even though there's a variance. So these are some of the examples and some of the match rules that you could set up. But in essence, transaction matching is trying to match data between different data sources and reconcile and make sure that the data matches. There's an exception. You can also have one data source to set up the matching. And we will, if you want to know more about that, let me know in the comment section and I'll create another video. All right, let's get into the system and let me show you all the configuration. So I'm in the match types window. We have set up this match type, AR invoices to EDI. Let's take a closer look at it. The status is approved. Let me go into the data sources section and you can see we have two data sources, EDI and invoices. EDI is set up as the subsystem. Invoices is set up as the source system. You can see the attributes that belong to the invoices data source. You can see the attributes that belong to the EDI data source. I have not set up any filters. Pretty simple setup. Let's go into match processes and then go into match rules. Here I've set up a number of data sources as two. Source system is invoices and subsystem is EDI. The rules, I've set up one rule, which is one-to-one confirmed. So if I go in there, you can see that the rule type is one-to-one, match status is confirmed. And in here, I'm specifying, okay, invoice line amount from invoices data source should match exactly with the line amount from EDI. Same goes for customer number, invoice number, and invoice line number. So this is how I've set up the match rule, and we'll set up another match rule to have tolerance. So that's all the setup. This is just to give you a high level overview of the matching process. So we looked at the data source, attributes, and the match rules. I also set up a format and a profile. If you want to see a video explaining how to set up all these, let me know. I'll create a separate video for that. Let's go ahead and load some sample data. I'm going to go to I could go here. So application, jobs, and you should be going to the transaction matching tab. Click on actions and then import transactions and select the match type. Here you can go ahead and select the different files. So I have payment file and I have invoices file. And make sure you select the date format, and the data file that I have, it's mmdd by. You have the option to run the auto match, but I'm not going to do it. I'll run it manually. So once you've selected the file, set the data format, you can click on submit. It's going to take a few seconds. You can see the job is pending and job succeeded. Now to view this, we could go to matching. And you can see that. Let me go to the first window. So this is the one that we have, the profile that I have set up for this match type. And you can see that the data file that I had 4 records for invoices and 4 records for payment. So if I click on it, I can see it says that, okay, 4 records were loaded from EDI, 4 were loaded from invoices. Okay. Let's look at the matching transactions itself. You can see that we have, let me include the invoice number. So select columns, customer number, invoice number, and line number. Apply. So this is the EDI data source. So we have invoice 1, line number, all line numbers are 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, invoice numbers, customer number 1, 1, 2, and 3. We have a line amount of 150, 100, 98, 155 on the EDI side. Now let's go to the invoices data source. And let's go ahead and select columns. It's going to say customer number, invoice line number, apply. You can see that we have customer number 1123, invoice numbers 1234, invoice line numbers 1111. The difference is on invoice number 3 and 4. We have 100 here and 150 here on the invoices side, and on the EDI side, those are going to be 98 instead of 100 and 155 instead of 150. So based on our match rules, these two should get matched and these two should not get matched. All right, so let's go ahead and run, let's go ahead and see the data here. So if we go into unmatched transactions, you can see the list, right? So you have 0, 0, 1, 2, and 3, invoices 1, 2, 3, 4, and the amount. So if I scroll here, you can see 150 and 150 matches, 100 and 100 matches, 198, 150 and 155. So if I run auto match at this point, these two on the invoices data source, and these two lines on the EDI data source should get matched. All right. So let's go ahead and run that. So I can go back to jobs and actions, run auto match. And I believe it is this one. Submit. Click OK. All right, so that succeeded. Now, so if we go back to the matching, we should see, okay, now it says 2 unmatched on the source side, 2 unmatched on the subsystem side. And if we go there, you can see that, let's go into unmatched. So we have 2, invoice 3 and 4 are unmatched. You can see we have 100 on the invoice line amount and 98 on the payment side, 150 on the invoice line amount, and 155 on the payment side. Let's also set up one more matching rule so that you can see how it is set up. So let's go here. I'm going to change this to pending. Make sure you do that before, only after that you can make changes. I'm going to set up one more match rule, and here I'm going to say suggested, right? 1-to-1 suggested, and let's do this. Save. I'm going to say, so here we're going to say the line amount matches the match type. We're going to change it to matches with tolerance, and we're going to say custom limits, use percentage, and I'm going to say -5 to maximum amount of let's say $20, and here +5 and up to a maximum amount of $20. All right. Now let's go ahead and add the other fields. So I'm going to say customer number should match exactly with the customer number. The other one would be invoice number should match exactly with invoice number. And the last one would be invoice line number should match exactly with the invoice line number here. Click on save, close. I should see 1-to-1 confirmed. This has already been run. Then you have 1-to-1 suggested. If everything goes well, it should work fine. So click on approved. Adjustment details must be provided for the rule. Okay. So we have to provide transaction type. We'll provide it's okay for both. And that's fine. Let's go into the match rules. Let's look at the rules. 1-to-1 suggested. Not adjustment details. So we're going to say for invoices, default value is invoices. And I can say invoice number. Save. I'll explain all this in a later video if you want to know more about this. Close. So we have set up a suggested match with tolerance. We also provided adjustment details for that. Okay, so now it is saved. Close. Let's go ahead and run the auto match process and see if something happens. Okay, so AR invoices to EDI. Click on submit. Click on OK. Refresh. All right, succeeded. So let's go back to the matching. We still have unmatched transactions. So let's go ahead and see. Now you can see that it was earlier, it was new. So unmatched new. Now it is suggested. So if I go to suggested matches, it shows me, okay, these two can be matched because what we gave is a tolerance of 5%, -5%, +5%, and total of $20. So it is a difference of $2. So we can go ahead and match this. There should be one more. Next one. So now here we have a tolerance of a variance of $5 between these two. So just wanted to show you that, it's pretty easy to set up these matching rules, and this is suggested match, so you can review, a user can come in and review these suggested matches, and if they're happy with it, they can go ahead and match this. Okay, now, so that's a high-level overview of the transaction matching process, data sources, attributes, the matching rules, etc. All right, you also saw how to load the data manually. I've written a blog explaining some of the important tables that you need to know in transaction matching. So I'll leave a link to that in the description of the video. You can take a look at that. Pay close attention to the dynamic tables section. I've also written a blog on how to load the data, the different ways to load the data into the transaction matching module. I'll leave a link to this as well in the description of the video. Now, the different tables that we have, I'll leave a link to that in the description as well. So in this video, I just wanted to give you an overview of the process before we get into more details of creating BI reports. So next video, we will be loading data. We will be looking at how to, I'll be explaining the different tables that we need to know, and also creating custom BI reports in ARCS transaction matching module. All right, if you have any questions, please feel free to post that in the comment section. Feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn. You can follow my blogs on Medium. If you have any questions, let me know. Happy to answer. If you love this video, I would appreciate if you leave a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos on Oracle ERP Cloud and Oracle EPM, consider subscribing. All right. I will talk to you all in the next video. Be safe. Take care. Bye.